It wasn't right to introduce it when we had inflation. Now it's not right to introduce it because we've got...
Meanwhile, Sampdoria were looking to extend their recent good run at Napoli, while relegation-threatened Piacenza played host to Padova, who are already down. But we start our roundup in Rome, as Juve's faint hopes of a successful title defence finally disappeared.
Juventus required nothing less than a victory to keep their slender title hopes alive, but went a goal down after only 4 minutes. Marco Del Vecchio, who scored a hat-trick the previous week against Napoli here, had already gone close before scoring his 9th Serie A goal of the season, and with some style too. Roma's fans have been treated to an end-of-season flourish and are now rightly dreaming of the UEFA Cup place. One Gianluca Vialli showed he is human after all. Roma were able to hit the fast-forward button once again. As ever, Del Vecchio proved to be the club's most dangerous player. Rampula made the save, but Peruzzi's understudy wasn't that impressed with his side's defending, which fell to pieces 9 minutes after the interval. Moriera was left with a simple task at the far post to make it 2-0. Juventus then began to claw their way back into the match. Civoni saved from Conte's free kick, but was beaten minutes later by one of his own players. Capioli inadvertently steered in Lombardo's shot. Now stand by for a moment of magic from one of Juve's best performers in recent weeks, Michele Padovano. Civoni was taken completely by surprise as Juve drew level. It ended 2-2, Juventus lost their Serie A crown. I'll be hoping for a more positive result when they meet Ajax here in a month's time. Atalanta gave a Serie A debut to young defender Kawali Conte from Sierra Leone in a game filled with goal-scoring opportunities. This was an early indication of things to come. Fuser struck the crossbar. The frame of the goal kept the ball out again shortly afterwards, this time at the other end. Morfeo went close for Atalanta, who are still aiming to secure their place in the top flight for next season. Their survival hopes were dented 13 minutes in when Valentini deflected Casiraghi's effort past Veron and Lazio hit the front. Atalanta were then unfortunate to strike the crossbar for a second time. Topolieri was the man denied. Still, Lazio's now all too familiar uncertainty at the back allowed Morfeo to level the scores 9 minutes before half-time. The former Atalanta player Rambaudi filled in for Boksic, but to no great effect. The half ended as two former Roma men, Topolieri and Bonacina, both conspired to miss from close range. The second half was just 13 minutes old when Lazio were awarded a penalty following Valentini's challenge on Fuser. Cue Beppe Signori to score his 100th Serie A goal, and against his hometown club too. It wasn't much of a homecoming for the Lazio skipper, who was pelted with missiles from Atalanta's unruly fans. Lazio sealed their first Serie A win in Bergamo for 39 years with a goal by Esposito, his first since the opening day of the season. As Bari's fight to avoid the drop continues, Igor Proti is the man they're looking to for some more inspiration. And the striker set up Bari's opener 3 minutes in. Anderson was the scorer. Bari's lead didn't last too long though. After three defenders went for the same ball, Marino ran clear to claim his third goal of the season. Indeed, there were 3 goals inside the first 15 minutes. Parente turned his marker to put Bari back in front. Udinese could have levelled the scores again here. Bierhoff hit the bar, Beer and Stropper couldn't finish it off. Proti had a hand in Bari's third on the stroke of half-time. He released Pedoni, and the midfielder's low cross was converted by Parente, who claimed his second of the match. After the break, Kenneth Anderson scored his second of the game too. The home side took a 4-1 lead. The one surprise was that Proti hadn't got his name on the score sheet. He gave it his best shot though. Udinese scored a late consolation goal through their German international, Oliver Bierhoff, who took his tally for the season to 17. It ended 4-2. Bari are hanging on by the skin of their teeth. Inter hadn't beaten Cagliari away for 6 years, when a Jürgen Klinsmann hat-trick inspired the Milan Giants to a 3-0 victory. They could have done with some of the Germans' finishing ability at the weekend, as a goalless draw put paid to Inter's hopes of securing their 6th away win in a row. Marco Branca twice went close before Bergami tried his luck from distance. It's not often you see the veteran having a crack at goal. Late on, Inter were fortunate not to give away a penalty. Oliveira went down under the challenge of the former Cagliari defender Gianluca Festa, who was perhaps lucky to get away with it. Roberto Carlos took the free kick on the right. The Brazilian then popped up on the left to deliver a measured cross for Gans, who almost claimed the winner. Cagliari will have been the happier of the two teams with the draw. The point seemed to be emphasised by the home fans. It's been a frustrating season for the Napoli fans. Still, it could be worse. Their disastrous run could have culminated in relegation. The point in this game would have preserved their top-flight status. First Pecchia and then Pollicano came mighty close to giving the home side the lead. Sampdoria have already proved many times how dangerous they can be on the counter-attack. Tagliatella dealt with Chiesa's shot quite comfortably there. Zenga was tested far more severely by the Napoli forwards. He showed on his 36th birthday that he's far from finished. Agostini perhaps thought he was. Despite the lack of goals, there was still plenty to admire in this game, such as Seedorf's flick, which almost led to a rare goal for Sacchetti. With only 4 minutes to go, Napoli were gifted the opportunity to win maximum points. La Monica gave away a penalty after fouling Arturo Di Napoli, who converted the spot kick himself. It was Sampdoria's first away defeat for 2 months. When a team is fighting for survival, they say there are no easy games. Perhaps there's always an exception to the rule. Padova, already down, also have the worst defensive record in the top flight. Capture put the home side ahead as, like most teams in Italy this season, Piacenza found it easy to score against Serie A's bottom club. Padova have never had much of a problem going forward. Vlahovic and Amoruso have shared 26 goals this season. All their problems are at the back. There were 6 Padova defenders to 1 Piacenza forward in this incident, but it was the Piacenza forward who got to the ball. Cappellini made it 2-0 and almost grabbed another before the break. Piacenza claimed 2 more goals inside the first 4 minutes of the second half. Di Francesco scrambled in goal number 3, and then it was left to Moretti to score the pick of the bunch and seal Piacenza's biggest win of the season. The scoring was over, although chances were still created at both ends. Vlahovic's expression summed up Padova's day. If Piacenza do stay up, they'll be grateful for Caccia's 14 goals and a respectable home record. All 9 of their Serie A victories have come here this season. And, last but not least, they'll be indebted to their goalkeeper, Massimo Taibi. They're almost there. Even before the kick-off, both these sides were resigned to the fact they were going down. By full-time, they were down. At a deserted Delle Alpi Stadium, Torino's rebuilding programme was already underway as they fielded a host of youngsters. But it was one of the older guards, Cristolini, who twice threatened to open the scoring. His second attempt struck an upright. Cremonese had a clear-cut chance of their own. Tentoni wasted it, though. Floriancic didn't fare any better with his header. 1 goal settled the issue, and it was scored by one of the players Torino were looking to for the future. 18-year-old defender Luca Mezzano scored his second Serie A goal on only his 9th appearance. Cremonese might have equalised on more than one occasion. Here, Floriancic was denied by both Beato and the post. Without their injured skipper, Rizzitelli, Karic and Dionigi joined forces up front for Torino. The 2 under-21 internationals showed glimpses of their potential. At the other end, Floriancic was again denied a goal by Torino's goalkeeper, Enzo Beato. It ended 1-0. Torino won for the first time in 8 games, but it came far too late. The form book pointed to a home victory in this fixture. Vicenza had lost just twice here, while Parma had won just twice on their travels. However, there was little to choose between the two sides in a match which could have swung either way. After Ambrosetti failed to give Vicenza the lead, Benarivo unleashed a venomous drive from long range. Mondini took no chances. By the end of the game, it was the international fullback who was left celebrating, but more of that later. After being put through by Di Carlo, Maini squandered a golden opportunity for Vicenza and the game remained goalless. Vicenza rested their leading scorer, Marcelo Otero, who had not long returned from international duty in South America. He scored in Uruguay's win over Venezuela and almost did likewise for Vicenza against Parma, having come on as a substitute. The only goal in the match arrived 12 minutes from full-time. Benarivo's far post cross deceived Mondini, who watched it sail straight in. Parma's first away win for 6 months ended a run of 4 consecutive defeats on the road. Goals haven't come easy for Vicenza all season. They were left to rue their missed opportunities in this game as Parma ran out 1-0 winners. So, for the 4th time in 5 seasons and the 15th time in their 97-year history, Milan are crowned Serie A champions. The spotlight now falls on the race for European places. 8 clubs are vying for 4 UEFA Cup spots. At the other end, Torino and Cremonese are relegated, joining Padova in Serie B next season. Bari is still in desperate trouble and will need to win their last 2 games to stay up, in the hope that Piacenza or Atalanta slip up along the way. Beppe Signori now stands alone at the top of the scorers charts. He's 1 goal clear of Igor Proti, with Chiesa a further 2 behind. Oliver Bierhoff moves to within a goal of Batistuta and Branca, who remain on 18. And we leave you with the new champions of Serie A, Milan. And after a year in Turin, the championship flag is back in the San Siro. Congratulations to the Rossoneri.